It's very civilized. So these are the things.
I'm just waiting for you to finish your vlog.
I'm waiting for you to start laughing.
I already did. I was just laughing at you preparing to press the record button.
You should tell us when you're doing these things so we don't like talk over it.
It's okay. I don't mind you talking over it. I suck at this so bad. I don't. Anyways, so I just wanted to show the things that I will be taking tomorrow to Armageddon and the gifts that I want to give to Katie. So first thing, because I kept hearing from people saying that she loves to read and she just read all the books, so I don't know, I thought I'd get her a book from New Zealand. So this was written by my former teacher, and it's got a bit of Maori culture, and it was made into a movie, which was a very sweet movie, I thought. So I thought I'd give her that. And also these glasses, which are the Thug Life pixelated glasses. And my friend was just saying that I think I'm going to have to explain what these are to her, because she's probably not going to know, because she's not familiar with like internet culture. So, yeah, they're kind of cool. Can you hold? I just want to put them on. So when you wear them like this, they might just look a bit funny, but when you actually take a photo, they do look two-dimensional. They actually look like stickers. So I'm gonna try and explain that to her if I have time. Huh?
This is the song for them.
Holy shit! It is! Oh my god! That's yeah. Wow. Okay, thank you.
I like your reaction.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even clicked unless you told me. So yeah, so I'm gonna ask her to wear them to the Supergirl set, because you know how Lena Luthor is the boss. I don't know if she's gonna remember that or not. And then I also got her some New Zealand chocolates, and I have a feeling she's gonna walk out of that place full of presents, because can you imagine like all the presents and stuff that people are gonna give her? And she totally deserves all of that. And I just wanted to show the art that I'm gonna get her to sign. So a friend of mine, she's an artist, she lives in Italy, she drew this. I wanted this drawing of Morgana, like from this specific shot from the series, and she drew it. Look how cool that is. I love it so much. So I'm gonna get her to sign that. I also made it into a bookmark, which I'm gonna give to her to keep if she wants it, just in case. I think she'll appreciate it. And the other one that I want her to sign is this one, because I just thought it was really cute and romantic, and I like the pretty colors. My friend is laughing at me, like she's standing behind me and just kind of spying on what I'm doing and holding in giggles of laughter. Anyways, so, and then I'm gonna get Katrina to sign this one, because I already got Katie, the other Katie, to sign this at Lexicon. And I'm really glad that I picked this picture, because what are the chances now? Katrina's coming to New Zealand, so yay! And then I can get that framed. And the last thing that I wanted to show. So I always wonder, like, I know that Katie's not on social media, and I wonder if she's aware of just how big of a following she's got on Twitter. So I thought I would run a little poll. It's just something silly, just for fun really, but just maybe something nice for her to see. And this is what people voted, and I want to give this to her and tell her, like, just people on Twitter adore your guts, basically. Yeah, So that's that. Last time I did one of these vlogs, it was at Klexicon, and the night before the convention started, I slept for 2 hours only. That might happen again tonight, hopefully not. What are you doing? I'm really scared about tomorrow, I'm not gonna lie. That's the line. It's not very big. Oh my gosh, soon this is going to be like full of people, and a good percentage of them is going to be gay.
So we know Katrina and Katie are together. Sorry. I guess we know what.
Look, 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 look. Oh my gosh. A dinosaur with a lightsaber. Trolling people, that's amazing. The dinosaur with a lightsaber.
Is that her jam?
Yeah, it's definitely a jam. She has been coming in tomorrow. It's been growing just
Ah!
It's been really nice. She's been there to help me. I'm like, what do I do now?
And these ones are launching them.
Arrow panel starting now.
The two guys hold the microphone, look like they were needing the stands to hold them up. So as I've said before, some of our wildest panels in the past have been because of our...
I would be Batman with the nipple suit.
Like woman of color on a very male-dominated show.
I'll take this one.
I love it. You know, at first I didn't quite understand the responsibility that I was kind of carrying, and I felt, because, you know, I'm straight personally, so there was a part of me that was like, well, I feel weird that I'm kind of representing the LGBT, but I think at the same time, the beauty of it is that I think it's that a straight person has no problem portraying that and has no issues, because kissing a male, kissing a female on screen is just as awkward no matter who it is. So it doesn't even matter, and I think there's no shame in it. I think love is love, and it should be portrayed. And I think Arrow has done such a great job of not giving Nissa some crazy backstory as to why she is a lesbian and she just is, or why Sarah is bisexual, or you.
Well, that's Berlanti, isn't it? I mean, Greg Berlanti, who's obviously a genius on many hundreds of levels for what he's created, but that whole aspect that he's brought into his television shows is literally like, you know, it's society-changing stuff, you know, in terms of perception. So great for you to be one of those characters that's helped do that. But yeah, that's Berlanti's thing, you know. He's a smart guy, very good guy.
Yeah, and I just love that they have a superhero that is, and there's no explanation. There's no.
It doesn't have to be justified.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be justified. It just, I happen to like chicks, so.
But they also walk the walk. I think I did 10 episodes this year, and 9 of them were female directors. So when you say it was a male director thing, most of the directors that I had this year were female, and we love working. And it's just reflected in the corporate culture that they're actually doing what they said that they're doing, and they're doing it positively. And I feel love it. I think it's fantastic.
I feel like a lot of people, I can't tell you how many people come up to me at conventions and said, thank you for portraying this kind of character. It allowed me to feel normal. It allowed me to feel like I could be a superhero and not have to hide in the closet. It allowed me to come out to my parents. So a lot of these young ladies, I don't know if you get a lot with the boys, but with the young girls are just like, I was close to committing suicide because I didn't know what to do, and this show has really just allowed me to feel like I belong, and that's my favorite aspect of it.
I'm from Auckland, and Arrow has really epic fight scenes. I just wanted to know how's the process for that, and like how much you guys enjoy that.
What was our discussion in the van on the way here, okay? Pick it up from there.
You know, first of all, it's very awesome because the fights are so good. They put so much into them. I lost the first yet, but but they're tough. You know, it's not easy. Like injuries happen and whatnot, and we have such a great stunt crew and fight choreographers and whatnot. Like we really wouldn't be able to do the things we did without them. But I love that we get to just create a lot of awesome action and give the fans just an action pack, dope fights, you know. So I take a point of pride in getting to play a part of that.
Yeah, they're nice, but part of the problem is that some of the stunts happen on what we call Fraturdays, which is like the Friday night to Saturday, and they happen at 2 o'clock in the morning in the driving rain at, you know, -10 in Vancouver. So it's work, and every episode has got its fight sequences. And I got to echo what Echo said. I don't know why I say that on the weekend. That the fight crew and the stunt team is just fabulous. You know, you never feel unsafe working with them. And it's you come up with you read what they have on the script. You go, how are they going to do that? And they pull it off. They really do.
You say that, but I actually had a mark on my stomach for 2 weeks, a welt on my stomach after the Lance's death shot. The bullet there. The reaction, if you slow down that bit where Lance is effectively getting killed in that, with that shot, the reaction that you're seeing is not me going, oh, this is what it must look like for a person to take a gunshot. It's me going, what the fuck? Jesus! Sorry, kiddies, sorry for that. I had to pay £40 2 weeks ago to kids for swear box stuff at the last convention. Sorry.
Yeah, you guys gotta grow up sometimes, so sorry.
I literally had, that was the reaction. You see, if you slow it down, then that's me. What happened? The squib was insane. It was, yeah. The script wasn't quite right.
Yeah,
So they actually shot Quentin, is what happened. They
really wanted his character to be gone.
Let's just make sure.
Is he dead now? Just liver laceration.
I generally like to stand on the sideline and cheer on my stunt double.
Yeah.
Doing an amazing job. Make me look good.
Yeah. Have you ever napped during your fight scene?
I critiqued.
Yeah.
Like, can you do a couple more squats? I need my butt to be perkier.
Hi. Thank you so much for coming to New Zealand, by the way.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Pretty much nobody ever does, so this is really cool. I mean, sorry, no, they say they'll come and then they'll cancel.
Oh, I see. But some of them will at least Skype.
That was one of the worst experiences ever. Trying to Skype. Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 years ago. I couldn't make it.
You tried to Skype in?
Yeah, it was suggested when you can't make it. I was filming over. They're like, you can do a Skype, and it was extreme. Just don't ever Skype into a panel. It was the time lag and the whole thing. It was just like, oh my god, I shit myself.
Audience loved it.
Right? I'm glad they loved it. It was you don't quite feel the connectivity. Yeah. But thank you for anybody that put up with it. Thank you for loving it very much. Thank you. Nice to be here like this, though, isn't it? And we'll get to be in New Zealand.
Sorry, your question.
That's right.
Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah. So my question is for Katrina. There was a picture you posted where you photoshopped your face in the background.
She did what?
She photoshopped her face on a waiter who was like there in the background when Sarah and Ava were having a date or a dinner or something like that. It was the best thing ever. I'm just wondering, so if she actually happened to like walk in one time in a restaurant and she saw actually Sarah and Ava having dinner together, what do you think Nissa would actually do?
I think she would.
I personally think an arrow would go through somebody's steak. Yeah, well, you know, as you do, and but Ava's blonde, you know, possibilities are open.
Who's Eva? Who is Eva?
Ava is Sarah Lance's, she's dating your daughter.
Oh, God, she didn't tell me anything.
Yeah. Unfortunately, your daughter keeps dating all these people and then posting it online for me to see.
Rude. I'll have a word, don't worry. She'll listen to me.
And I'm like, come on now. I'm not posting my stuff. I'm just kind of like laying low, and she's all like, yay.
So is this on Legends or something? She's dating?
Yeah.
Eva.
So basically, there was a photo of her and Ava having dinner, and I went, yeah, Ava, blonde. Okay, blonde.
It's all right.
He was kind of cute and hot, and I dig it. But I photoshopped my face poorly onto somebody's face in the background.
It was really good.
And I had so much fun doing it. I was like the maniacal laugh as I was doing it. I was like sitting out there, like, wow. And then the best part was, most people didn't even see my face in the background. They were like, this is weird, where are you posting this? And then like it kind of like it took a minute. And then they finally caught on. So, that was the best one. Yeah.
So we were going to have a revolution, but we didn't print up enough pamphlets. That must be a Kiwi character. And I laughed. He was my favorite character in that movie ever.
He was the director, and he directed Boy, which is
Yeah. I loved it. I said that guy must be. It's Kiwi. That's Kiwi. I love it.
Do you know where you got the idea of the character from, though?
Oh, Chibro, what's so sick?
Well, I'm not even now.
And then, of course, there's my favorite 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And teen instead of 10.
Steven, my name is Bean.
Wait till you get 6 people on the deck.
Oh, do you want to come over and sit on the dick? The what? Come over and sit on the dick.
Oh, no.
Oh, you guys are forward.
I have an exceptionally large deck. Get 20 people on it easy. And a barbecue.
Just casually. Yeah, no, because nobody's even making a fuss. Like, what is wrong with people?
Katie McGrath.
Jigwitch.
Top of the morning to you.
Okay, that's a no answer.
I try to offend at least everyone.
What, you try top of the morning on at least everyone?
It's like find someone that's Irish and they, oh, that's offensive. There we go. I could have said God bless all in this house.
I mean, Jigwitch, you can start with that. That's how you say hello in Irish.
Oh, now you just shut up.
There you go. Actually, it does mean God be with you. So we are, I mean, God, we can't get away from it in Ireland, can we?
Well, yeah, with God's own, that's what we call this country. Or land of the long white cloud. Yeah, you know. You're too young to know. What are you doing? No. Thank you very much for having like Merlin, two amazing shows. If you've got questions, please save me. No, please put your hand up and ask away. Otherwise, I do have some questions I'd like to ask. But yes, here we go. Look, saved by not my knight in shining armor.
No, saved by Morgana looking badass. I'm really jet lagged. Also Irish. Not my fault. I think when you're playing a character where everybody knows where she's going to end up, it's hard to not give the game away. And it's hard to prejudge someone and pre-assume that you're already going to hate them because they're a bad guy. And with both Morgana and with Luna, the job is to make them likable. And my job is to make it so that you don't want them to be the person that you know they're going to end up to be.
She did that.
And I know Lena is fighting against the assumption that she's evil, but I think Morgana was as well. You know, you start Merlin thinking that she's going to be more than a thing, she's going to be this evil, badass sorceress, but at the end of Merlin, she wasn't that. She was a victim of the circumstance she was in, and whoa, what is that?
So the inflatable castle thing next door has a slow leak. So every now and then they have to repump it full of air.
That's okay, it's saving me from really screwing up this answer. I'm so sorry. I think you approach a character wanting to make them as likable as possible, even if they're a bad guy. Because as much as somebody is completely evil, you have to love to hate them, you have to even sympathize with them, you've got to, on some level, make them personal. So, that in no way answers your question, and I apologize for that. Maybe I'll answer it again at the end. I'll be better. I'm gonna do better, guys. I'm gonna do better.
You're doing fantastic. You really are. Never so hard yourself. I am not. We're hanging on every Aren't we, Tauranga?
Yes.
Yeah!
We just got here.
Yay, me too! This is great.
Where's your other white guy, Kim? Oh, there we go. Contact.
Is that Batman on your skirt? Can you tell me about it?
This is
I love that.
This is Batman. I have had this skirt, believe it or not, for about 20 years. This tells you the depth of my geekdom. I have a friend back home who calls me Bat Katie, purely because of this skirt. So yes, it is the source of one of my nicknames. One of them.
Nice. What's the other one?
There are kids here. Whoa. What is that?
No, I mean, whisper it in my ear. I don't mean it. You put a spell on me.
Hey, so it's been like 6 years since the end of Merlin now. I know, right?
Don't tell me that.
How do you feel seeing people still now dressing as Morgana and asking you questions about Morgana when you've been doing so much in between?
Incredibly tough. You know, it was this little tiny show we did in Wales, and Colin and Rodney and Angel and I, it was pretty much all of our first jobs. And we had no idea what we were getting into. And even when we were filming it, we filmed for such a large part of the year. And then we go off to other jobs, and then we'd come back, and we kind of existed in this bubble. We didn't really have, because it was a British show and it was filmed a while ago, we didn't really have content fandoms like people do now. And so to come out and to see that that people are still talking about it and affected by it, it's amazing, And I had dinner with Colin not that long ago, and we were talking about it and how it's still such a huge part of our lives and it probably always will be. And it was amazing, It was this little show we did in Wales, and it was still just the four of us for 5 years. And here we are now in New Zealand. It's very strange, but it's wonderful. It's getting a whole new sort of legion of fans in America because they just put it on Netflix. We just can't believe it. It's Merlin all the time.
That's right. Look, kind of already answered it as well, but I was going to ask if you still keep in touch with any of the cast as well.
Yes, I do. Colin is like my little brother. I love that little boy. No, he's not little anymore. He's grown.
Jory appreciates
I think it's used to. He's doing a play now if anybody's in London and wants to go see him on stage. Just saying.
Hi Katie, welcome to New Zealand.
Thank you very much.
For my question, I need to preface with a quick explanation.
Okay.
I read an idea online, but the reason she doesn't say anything about it is because the only other Kryptonian she's really interacted with is Rain, and she thinks that all Kryptonians kind of black out and become their alter ego.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on this theory?
The theory that I know that Kara really is Supergirl?
Yeah.
No. Sorry guys, I'm not with you on this one. I believe 100% that even though Lena has 2 doctorates, 2, because I did check this, she does not know that Kara is Supergirl. Because it ruins it. You know, you have to have that one person that Kara can only be Kara with. She doesn't have to be the hero. She can be flawed. That's the whole point of the show, because otherwise she never needs to be Kara, she can only ever be Supergirl. If everybody knows who she is, there's no point in having, you know, the alter ego. And you want to see her not just as the hero, but as the flawed human being, because everybody, even heroes, have down days. And even heroes need friends, and even heroes need to be vulnerable. And that's what Lena gets to be for Supergirl. And plus, guys, you know, she flies. It's a TV show. Somebody has to keep the character. So they signed me on for 3, and I don't think they expected the character to evolve the way it did, and for people to respond the way they did. I think what's great about the shows that are in the DC universe, and it's something the CW and the Bernattis do really well, is they do respond to what fans want. Because, you know, the episodes come out quite quickly after we film them, and they do listen to what works. And I think Lena and Kara's relationship is an example of that, because, like I said, I was only hired to do 3 episodes, and here we are, I don't know, maybe like 30-something episodes later. So that's down to you guys. I mean, it's down to me and Melissa having a great time, and all the cast having a great time, but it's also down to the fact that the fans like it. You know, so we're all here because of you. Nothing to do with me. Thanks. Paying my mortgage.
So your life is we're all here because of you.
Oh God, this is the chicken and the egg.
It is.
Which comes first?
Prehistoric chicken would have laid an egg that would have been nature.
That's what I always think.
So Texas in the first, in the Armageddon Expo about evolution. Lovely lady in the food. That's faux food?
Faux food.
Oh, how many Muppets did it die?
First of all, I just wanted to say thank you for picking such interesting roles, because that makes, like, as somebody who supports you as an actor, it makes it fun and easy to follow your work, as opposed to, I mean, compared to some other people who just get necessarily as good roles. So yeah. Anyway, okay. So what I want to ask, I feel like I should apologize in advance because it might be.
Am I meant to call security?
What? No.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, wow, okay, no.
Yeah, because you're jet lagged. I don't know if this is going to be difficult or not. But
I'm going to go with yes, but I'm going to do my best.
Okay. So I've always wanted to have a conversation with Lena herself.
Right.
I wanted to ask you if you could like step in character for a moment.
Okay. All right, I can try.
Okay. So
Yes, Miss Luther, we'll see you now.
Thanks. So we've been watching your life for the past couple of years. We've seen stuff. We know everything. We know things that you probably don't know. So I have something to tell you.
Okay, listen, I'm going to stop you right there. I have a feeling I think you're going to want to talk to me about my friends. And I don't really talk about my personal life. You know, we're in a business setting. If we could just keep this on anything to do with L-Corp, you know, I would like to keep this more professional.
Okay, fair enough. So one of your business associates.
I'm sorry.
Not a friend.
Miss Luther has made it very clear she does not want to speak about her friends.
No,
I just feel it's my personal life, and that's
Fair enough.
very different to my professional life.
Yeah, security, I think we've got it.
So this is not a friend, as we have established.
Is a sniper in position?
So Supergirl is Kara.
She looks like a Muppet killer.
Who's Supergirl?
Who's
I
Kara?
don't know what you're talking about. I refuse to know what you're talking about.
And I'm sorry, Miss Luther, you were
No, is my car here?
Your
My
car's
car's here. Great. Okay. I've got to go save the world again.
Okay. Thank you.
You know that's all I've been doing the last.
Yes. Thank you for saving the world. Thank you so much.
Please don't forget to validate your partner.
so badly dodged, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I felt like
that
I
was an
saying,
epic question.
That was my fault. I'm so sorry.
Yes, much more.
You work with so much better people, and I'm sorry, I'm inadequate.
No, that was a brilliant question. You know the world. Also, how amazing they are.
But
no, they can braid each other's hair and talk about fairy tales.
That's a show I'd like to see. You win that.
Hello again. Sorry. There's a lot of theories out there about what happens after Arthur dies and so. And I know that there's quite a number of people online that would love to see a reunion.
Right.
Would you ever be open to do that, or do you think Morgana's story is finished where it is?
We were so lucky to be able to tell the story from start to finish, because it was always 5 years that we were all signed on for, and it's rare nowadays that a show gets to do start to finish. And I would be worried that we would do a disservice to anybody, because everybody's so invested in their own version of what happens after, and I don't want to ruin that for everyone. So I think it's quite nice that we've got to tell the story completely, and then everybody else can imagine what they want after that. And I'd be worried that we would ruin that for people. So I kind of want to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, I kind of want it to be whatever everybody wants it to be. It should kind of be. Yeah, no, go for it again. Maybe go for it.
No point.
I just got scared.
Is there someone else that wants to ask?
Hello, wonderful.
Really impacted you, and if anything like changed you as a person as well?
Dracula, playing Lucy, because more to do with the relationship I had with the character, not with the character, with the other cast. We are all still so close today, like Jess and Ollie and Smurfs and Nonzo and Johnny and everybody. It was a difficult shoot. That it was, you know, arduous, and the show got cancelled. But it didn't seem to matter. We were in this again weird little bubble in Budapest, living our best lives and making a show that we all loved. And I particularly adored my character. And it wasn't easy, you know, to get to where she needed to be on screen. And I'm very proud of it. And I don't know what he's doing behind me. What's happening? Is it okay? Okay, we're good. We're still not on this.
I'll stop asking questions.
Same. But yeah, so.
I'll stop
It's a quick one. I just wanted to ask Kiss, Marry, Kill for her chapters.
Well, I don't. Someone else got a question back there?
Hello.
Where are we looking? Okay.
Sorry, it's me.
Alright.
I told you I'd come back.
I told you I couldn't start without you. Did you see that? We waited.
It was amazing. My friend Angelina Saunderson lives in Budapest. She was in one of your episodes. Can you tell me what was your favourite thing about being in Budapest?
That is the most beautiful city. I think it's amazing about the Hungarians is that they have, as a country, been roughshod over by every empire has come in and has taken them over and has tried to subjugate them, and yet they still have such a strong sense of themselves and their own nationality. And the city is still so vibrant, even though it's massively bombed. It's still so beautiful, and as a people, they are still so passionate about building their culture, and it's hard not to imbue that when you're there. It's just cool. You know, you're hanging out with your 5-6 best friends, just getting drunk. My mother's listening to this. We were very well behaved. I was in bed by 9 o'clock.
Hang on. Doesn't this strike you down in lightning from lying? So if you go to the cocktail party tonight, she'll be gone very early apparently. So
Hi again. Just a quick question. For your three characters, Morgana, Lucy, and Lena. You know that game, Kiss, Marry, Kill?
Yeah. Okay, Kiss, Marry, Kill, right? So
yes.
We've got Lucy, Lena, Morgana.
Yeah.
I I think I'm going to marry Lena because I feel like she'll take care of me. She's very caring. Also, she's got tons of money, so you'll be fine and never have to work again. You're going to snog Lucy because, you know, she was a hottie, very well dressed. And
Uncomfortable, right?
come on, they're totally different. If anything will teach you right now is that somebody can be entirely different if they're wearing glasses or if they're not. So, come on, the program. And then, and then maybe kill Morgana because, you know, she's got way too much power and she'll probably end up being the alpha.
Thank you.
I am Katie.
So, meeting Lady, how did you end up in South Africa and how was it
Are
shooting?
you South African? There we go. When I finished Dracula, I was very burnt out. It was a very intense shoot, and an offer came to go to South Africa. I loved the script. I thought it was sweet, and I thought it was funny, and I wanted a change of scenery, and I really loved Hank, and you know, I had a great time. And the biltong, seriously, that I can't swear. And that stuff, I love that stuff. It's like dried meat, it's like jerky, but better.
Hold on for reaction. So I was going to ask you, what other Disney TV show character would you?
It's funny, I thought about this after she came back and she sort of told me this. I don't want to play anyone else other than Lena. I know that sounds like I'm a cop-out answer, but I've like barely scratched the surface of who she is and where she's going to go. And I think they've created such a complex, strong female character that I'm not quite ready to give her up yet. So maybe you can ask me in a little while, but I feel like she's got a lot more to go. I've got more to do. She, you know, do her justice. That's a cop-out answer, and I'm sorry. But I did think about that one because Kyler told me about it. Hi, Nick.
Talked about one on Tumblr last year. Congratulations.
I can't believe I beat Gal Gadot. Nobody beats Wonder Woman. I was very impressed.
And also congratulations on season 4.
Thank you very much.
There's a lot of powers and gadgets and things on the show. Is there anything in particular you think that Lena would love to have or would love to see happen, either to her or friends and family that she would do?
You want to know what gadget I would like? Would I like a power gadget? We talked about this before, is people ask me if I want a power, and you know, no, because there is no point in my life that I want to wear a super suit. Those things are really uncomfortable. And there are days where there are like 3 or 4 people all lined up and they're just lying like this going, God, get me out. And he's like, breathe. And I'm sitting there and my thumb's going. So I'm good enough having powers. I think I'm very lucky in that, you know, Lena's real power is her intelligence. So I think what's nice about that is she's accessible, you know, and it's aspiration. It's not, she's a real person, you know, I mean, a real smart, amazing person, but she is. So I wouldn't necessarily like powers. What gadget would I like? I'd like to go on the Lex suit. That's like fun. Brenda told me she had a great time doing that. You know, maybe just some technology. Put my own little Iron Man.
I know, it's like synergy.
On any set? The memorable moment on the Super Bowl. You know, it's really weird. One of my first scenes was with Melissa and Tyler. And I still remember seeing them for the first time in their suits. And no matter how jaded you are and how many jobs you've done, seeing Melissa walk out dressed as Supergirl, you still become a kid. You're still like, and seeing Tyler dressed as every time you forget yourself. And I'll just be like, so you never, you know, those days safe chemicals. But climbing that was a good laugh as the ship broke apart. It was a really, really cool job to say. I can't remember it now. Some people remember it for me, I'm sure. Hello again.
Hello.
You should just keep the mic.
I'm sorry. I was worse last year. I guess any tips or tricks of getting into a character, and what is kind of your way of getting into a character? Do you have a full method, or do you just do your research first?
Method I am not. I'm looking at a lot of my characters have very great costumes. So costume is something that helps me a lot. So Morgana, it took 2 hours to transform me from Katie to Morgana. And so by the time I was finished with that, I really felt like her. Lucy was the same. It was very heavy, obviously costume, hair, makeup. And Lena is, again, has a very iconic look, and it's very powerful, and it's very far from who I am. So I feel that for me helps me forget that I'm Katie and that I'm playing somebody else. With Lena, it has to be very uncomfortable shoes.
Any tips?
Why? Listen, if you were the head of a Fortune 500 company, wouldn't you just wear trackies to work? Pajamas, you'd be like, dude, this is my company. I'm going to wear my pajamas. Why am I wearing this dress? Right? I had this conversation more than once, but apparently nobody listens to it.
Onesie.
Onesie, like the most amazing raccoon onesie that I turned up on set wearing once. Cash pan. It had a tail and everything, and little ears.
There's got to be a picture on the internet somewhere.
Oh, there is not, thank God.
Can there be?
The crew's gonna go through all their pictures and be like, no, sorry. Oh, hello, hi, I'm sorry. For me, I like movies that make you feel like you're in that world, you've escaped. I'm not necessarily, like I love worthy movies and Oscar winners, but at the end of the day, when it's 3 o'clock on a Saturday, I want to watch the Oscar. I want to watch a movie that is got explosions and fights and escapism, and I want to turn off. And those are the movies that made me want to be an actor. Is Spielberg, George Lucas, old George Lucas. I mean, gotta go with there's a line. There are only 3 Indiana Jones movies, like for real, just so you can. But those type of things. You want to tell a story that makes people feel like they're somewhere else. That's what art does. It's the same with a book. You want to be transported from sitting in your kitchen to the world that somebody creates. Those are the movies that I used to like. Hello, love.
Do you see yourself that you use the character for continuity that I don't know, you or might surprise you sometimes when you
Do I find that I'm similar to any of my characters?
yeah.
Well, they're brilliant. I'm amazing. It's weird. I find the characters I play tend to be a lot more confident than I am. I know this seems weird, but I'm a very shy, very socially awkward, very nervous person, and I have no idea how I've managed to consistently play very confident, capable, brilliant women. Because in my real life, I am none of those things. But I am very glad that I get to pretend, because every so often I go home and I still feel like that. And I'm very lucky that the characters that I play have allowed me to take a little bit of them home. So it's less that they are me, more that I take some of them with me. And I'm very grateful to them for that, because they're much better than me.
Mum didn't disagree, so. So, just quickly, and then we're going to get to it. When I was surfing the dark web, I came across a rumour that originally you'd studied to be a fashion journalist?
No, I wanted to be.
Wanted to be?
I wanted to be a fashion journalist, yeah.
And then first job was
I worked. I was working. I wanted to be a fashion journalist. I wanted to work for a magazine, and I got a job, and very quickly realized that I did not want to do that, and so I quit. And I was 22 and I was at home in Ireland, and I'm pretty sure my mother was like, I did not spend this amount of money on your education to sit around and do nothing. So she very nicely called her best friend, who was a first assistant on a TV show just starting, and was like, can Katie have a job? She doesn't have a job. And he's like, yeah, sure. You know, she can work in costume. She likes clothes. Now I cannot sew. I cannot even thread a needle. And I am now working on the Tudors, which, as we know, you can't, if you're working in costume on the Tudors, you kind of need to know what you're doing. So I didn't last very long with that. And to be fair to them, a lot of people were like, you know, you should really give acting a try. A lot of the producers and directors on the Tudors, which was very nice of them. But now, in retrospect, I figured it was just them trying to get me to stop ruining their very expensive costumes. But yeah, that's how that started.
Back there. Oh, there we go. Stand up.
Hi. Hello. Nice t-shirt.
How do you feel about Lena and James and your relationship at the moment?
I mean, I love Todd. I feel so grateful that I get to work with him, because he is such a stoic presence. And all the craziness that goes on, Makad is so chill. He's like the most mellow man, and I really feel very taken care of when I'm around him. And I like the power play between the two of them, and I like the fact that Lena gets to be vulnerable with somebody, and I think that it's important for her as a character to see that. So when they started it, I think it's, I really like it. I love it. I know, it's him. I thought he was going to be here. So I was like texting him this morning. He's like, are you here? And he's like, no, Katie, I'm in London. Not that one.
So I was a big fan of this unnecessary reference. Yeah, like the Tyrell Ovens wide receiver. TK, yes, who said that? You get your bag. Question there.
You're getting a bag because you just validated him.
I'm like Oprah, you get a bag. Some people get a bag. The budget Oprah. Can you pass that back to the lady?
Budget Oprah.
Question over there?
Hello. Hi. Hi. No, it's not great, is it?
I just wanted to ask about your role in Jurassic World. How did that come about? Were you asked to do it?
Yeah. That role was originally like one line in the script, and before they were rewriting it, there wasn't really anything to audition for. It was a couple of lines, and when I got down to the final one or two, I did a Skype call with the director, Collin. He's chatting away to me. He's like, "Listen, I'm going to make this role. I mean, it's going to be mainly just a stunt. We're making it bigger." And he's like, "It's going to be a big deal, okay? People are going to really talk about this." And I'm sitting there going, "Yeah, Collin, I'm sure they are. Whatever. I don't care. I want to do the job." So he's like, "So you're going to be comfortable doing all of this stunt?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no worries. Whatever you want." You're going to say no. They're offering you a job in Jurassic World. You're going to be like, "Yeah, no worries. I'll ride a donkey. I don't care." And he kept saying this is going to be a really big deal, and people are going to talk about this. And I was like, and boy, was I wrong. Although I had no clue what he was going to do to that character. So yeah, I mean, it was a long time to film that, and I did all of it. I think one shot isn't me. I mean, when I say I did all of it, I'm an actor. So the stuntman did all of it as well. So we both, I mean, when I say I did it, yes, I'm not sure how much of it is me that you see and how much is my amazing stunt double. So I know the drop is me, which was 11 stories on a crane. That was fun. So yeah, they had me like in the middle of a car park in Louisiana, hauled up to the top of this crane, which was 11 stories high, and there's a camera above me. And then it gets to the top and they're like, "Okay, Katie, can you just pick yourself upside down?" I'm like, "Great. And can you do a picnic because of the thunderstorm coming in and you're on a giant metal pole?" No worries. That's fun. Oh, I know this now. So yeah, so then they dropped me 11 stories with the camera above me screaming, "No acting required." It was good though. I mean, it was a job like that. You were such a small part of such a massive, amazing thing. You just feel lucky any day you get to be there. Plus, the call sheet says Steven Spielberg on the top of it, so you're like, dream come true. Hello again.
Hi. You briefly
I did?
And you briefly worked with Natasha Nicholas and Liz Bellman in one scene.
Yes, I did. I remember these girls.
I was just wondering, what was it like working with them and like...
The two of them have such great chemistry and rapport.
They really do.
I was like just watching the two of them chat between it. I was like, this is amazing. I can sell tickets to this, which then I subsequently discovered they pretty much do. Because I wasn't really aware of who they were until they came in and they told me, and I was just sort of like, this is amazing.
It was like fandoms colliding.
Yeah, it was. I'm not on social media, so I don't really know. But I was just like, this, I could just get popcorn and hey. They were sweet girls, sweet, and very good. I, subsequently discovered it was a big deal to be working with them, and they should have known. Sorry, guys. Hello. I can't hear you, baby. Sorry.
Was it? Sorry.
Yeah.
So Lena relates again, I sort of love their relationship, though not that we've seen much of it. But the directors and producers, the robots who destroy Lillian's Rose Garden, what was that like? Or did you bring your own ideas?
That's why my mother hates me. Oh, it's all so clear now. Do the producers? Yes and no. I feel like the producers know everything. I don't feel like they tell us everything. Do you know what I mean? They have a plan and they know all of our backstory, but they don't necessarily explain it to us. And sometimes I think they're not quite sure what direction they're going to take the character in, so they don't want to play their hand too early. So since Lex hasn't come in as a character yet, they haven't given me too much details about our relationship as a child. I know more about my relationship with my mother, because obviously Brenda is such a huge part of the show, and also I love her and this is. There's so much. She's so good.
Ignore me.
I can't ignore you. I'm gesticulating madly.
That's wild. That was subtle.
It's madly, not wildly. Wildly is something completely different. So I know. Nice. So we know bits of backstory, as much as is relevant to the character we're playing now. And this is what's difficult about playing somebody who's canon in the comic books, is that there's already such a wealth of information about them as a character, but it's not necessarily the information that's going to be used within our version of her. So you do your research and you find out as much as you can about her, but then sometimes they can be like, no, we're not going to use that story. This is where we're going. So I kind of learn it for my own interest and then sort of see what comes up in the scripts. I'm like, oh, they're not doing it. Okay, cool. Does that in any way answer your question? No. Okay, hold on. Try me again. Hit me with the question again. Because I really sucked on both your questions here sitting next to each other, so I want to get it right once. All right, well, the next question I'll get really right.
So in the last episode that we saw, Lena said some pretty harsh things to Kara regarding Supergirl.
I'm trying to think what episode. I don't.
Elevator.
No, I know. Okay, because I am trying to remember which episode has been aired, and I know which episode you're saying.
Yeah. So she was saying, like, we're not friends, basically, like, and
friends don't do this to me, and you would know if I was a little. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So like if Lena ever finds out that Kara is Supergirl and she didn't tell her, she will be obviously devastated and heartbroken and feel betrayed. What, in your opinion, would it take for Lena to forgive Kara for doing something like that?
I don't know if she can.
Yeah.
I mean, really, if you think about how she's reacted to hearing that Supergirl has done this to her, if she hears, and Supergirl was her friend, not even her best friend, so if she suddenly hears that Kara's been lying to her, I mean, how do you come back from that? And for all that Lena is a very strong, powerful, competent woman, she's also extremely fragile. And I think it would break her. I really do. I think if she found out her best friend had been lying to her, I think it would break her.
So there's nothing there's nothing she could do, like, to forgive her, actually?
I don't know. There's many episodes to come. I'm sure they'll think of something, but I don't know.
I
Do I have any pets? I have the love of my life, my reason for living, my reason for doing 17-hour days.
You trust me.
Well played, sir. Well played.
I got mum to smile. Now she's not.
And I have a dog. I have a dog called Dushy who comes with me everywhere. He rules my life. He basically takes all my money. That's all he does. Sits around and naps. I want cuddles. He's like, no. Too cool for this. You see it? Isn't it amazing? You know? They're amazing. He's a little whippet. And he is...
Aww.
I completely, like, I'm useless for my dog. No.
And on that happy note, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Katie's mum, no!
Tauranga, day 1 finished.
That's the closest one.
Oh, there she is.
What are you doing? Not getting her at all. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Move your hair.
I don't want to be too obvious. Is it working?
No. It's so bad. Oh my god.
I'm just gonna stop.
Missed out on so much.
Yeah.
My own personal trial and tribulation, because I know we are about to invite up on the stage 3 of the most talented, empowering, fantastically intelligent and beautiful women to embrace DC Universe. So please put your hands together and welcome up onto the stage Katie, Lauren and Leslie. I am going to be smart.
So I love Lena and Sam's relationship. So I was wondering how it was like working with Odette.
I love Odette, like with every part of myself. And it's very sad that she is not right next to me right now. I think we were very, like, I don't think they really planned on the chemistry between the two of us. And so what you see on the screen is created of many nights of tequila and much Mexican food and much pain and sorrow the next morning after too much tequila food. So I love her very much, and I'm very glad that Supergirl sort of brought us together, because otherwise she's my little squid. My little squid for a Jeremy. Thank you. You're welcome.
Like the relationship between the two will be repaired in the series. And you two, where were you last night? At the cocktail party?
Oh, wait. I was Skyping with my son and had a migraine. Where were we at the cocktail party?
We were waiting for shots.
Jet lag. All of the jet lag happened. I think that with regards to the relationship between Supergirl and Lena being repaired, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how. And Kara and Lena are still going strong, so we're all good. But I think it's going to be a very dramatic road that's got to be traveled. You know, season 4 has another 22 episodes in which they can play it all out. So, you know, whatever happens is going to be dynamic viewing. And don't worry, I'm sure it will satisfy all people who watch.
Oh, good. Clearly, since we're still on the air. Too soon?
Yeah, too soon. Yeah. Ouch.
Welcome to Lucifer King. I have to say, actually, I read the Lucifer part and I auditioned, I think, for both your roles. Obviously, I sucked.
No, you do not. And what's funny, I read Supergirl and I auditioned and I did shit.
You suck. They pick the people that are right for the roles, but when you talk about the two roles, it's everything that I thought about when I read both of them. They were such great women, and they were so admirable, and it's the same reason when I read Lena. It's what I am drawn to the women I wish I was. You know, I'm not her. She's all the best parts of me that I want to be. She's confident, she's together, she's smart, she's capable, she's strong, she's passionate. I'm a mess. And so I tend to be driven and drawn to women on the page who are aspirational for me. And that's what these three characters I've always thought, you know, because I would have happily played either of them. Not probably as well, though.
This is for you, Katie.
Hello, Jason.
If people go to any of one of the other DC shows, Aaron, issues for
Oh, good.
Hello. Question for Katie. So recently, in one of the recent episodes, there was some amusing stick action between between Alex and Lena.
Yes.
I'm wondering, was that improvised? Do you often improvise yourself?
Somebody asked me this yesterday, and I was like, do you want the answer you want? Or do you want the truth?
The truth.
The truth was that wasn't a script.
It was?
But that scene was a mess to film because it was inside and there was a lot of smoke and obviously stunts and stuff going on. So we ended up just amusing ourselves all day. And so all of the chemistry that you see and all of that came from us just having one of, you know those giddy days you have where you're exhausted and you just get really, really silly?
Yes.
Everything from that is us being like completely dead and like children. So that's why it seems like it's improvised, but it actually isn't. I shouldn't say it's improvised. We're really smart.
In terms of Alex and Lena, is there going to be more like how do I say?
Love affair.
That's not what I was going to say, but sure. I was just going to say because they're both obviously very protective of Rain. They have Ruby that they're both, you know, really they want to sort of look after. And, yep. So is there going to be more of a bond developed between them? Are you guys going to have more scenes together? That
You're gonna have to watch.
Okay.
Sorry, babe. I can't. It's more than my life. It's more than my life is worth to give it away. Just gonna have to watch.
Hello. I'm here. Two-part question.
For me?
What are all your guys' favourite heroes? Or villains? Up to you.
In the DC world, or just generally?
I'll get you on us too.
Hello?
Okay.
Are you there? Are you there?
Well, talk together. Ring, ring, ring. Hello?
Hello?
That's
Australian.
Australian.
Yeah, I'm here. Hello? What are you doing? Where are you? In New Zealand. No, I'm not. Duh, so am I. Guys, I'm going to stop you right because I can't even do an Irish accent. I'm up at now, and currently I'm in Tauranga.
What the hell?
I live here, so I know that you don't pronounce the G. Duh. You hung up, right? Let's know.
And I'm back slightly out of pizza, mate. You were doing so well until we hung up. Tauranga, it has been amazing and an absolute privilege to have these powerful women on stage. Please, put your hands together.
I just need to apologize for my face looking so white. I have really bad lighting at the moment. I'm doing this at night, so yeah, sorry, I look like a ghost. It's been a couple of days, it's been a few days since the end of Armageddon, and I just wanted to kind of tie up all the loose ends for the vlog and just kind of go into a little bit more detail on everything that happened, and also like just to share with everybody, but also a lot of it is just for myself too, because I really want to have something to remember this experience by, because it was possibly one of the most incredible experiences of my life. Honestly, I couldn't have asked for more. I couldn't have asked for better. I'm just so happy, so happy. Just before I get into this, there's just something I need to say very quickly. There's a lovely girl I met called Lauren, and she ended up staying, she actually was staying in the same guest house as me and my friends were, and she was from Australia. And before we left Armageddon, I wanted to find her and say bye to her properly, and I didn't have a chance because we were in a bit of a rush. There was a family emergency, so we actually had to go like immediately. But I don't know if Lauren, you're ever gonna see this or not, but just in case you do, I just really wanted to say I'm so sorry. I meant to find you and just say bye, and like really nice to meet you, and hope you have a good rest of your trip in New Zealand, and I hope you have a safe flight home. And I felt so bad that I didn't have that opportunity to find you to say bye, so I'm sorry, but it was really nice to meet you. So me and a couple of friends, we went down to Tauranga, to Armageddon, to see certain actresses and actors that had come. For me, it was mainly to see Katie McGrath and Katrina Law, and I got to meet both. And I tweeted as much as I could about it, so if you're interested to read the details of things that were happening as they were happening, you can go on my Twitter, which is @EdenSinger, and you can find, it's my top thread, it's like the pinned tweet on my profile. It's all there, all of it, like me freaking out, me just flipping out, and all of it, it's there. But I just thought I would kind of recap everything a little bit and just talk about it in person, just in case anybody's interested to see. And yeah, I want to remember this. It's really precious to me, and I'm really just happy about everything that happened, and how great everybody was, and like just coming back from this weekend, I'm still having difficulty adjusting to normal life. I know that sounds so silly, but that's just how I feel. I'm still on like a bit of a buzz. Not a bit, I'm on a buzz. I'm on a buzz and I can't get off it. And doing normal life, I'm not gonna lie, it's weird. Like I can't fall back into my everyday pattern. Is that weird? I don't know. I mean, I've spoken with at least one other person who feels the same as me, so yeah, I don't know. Anyways, okay, so I'll just go back up and I'll just retell everything as it happened. So we got to, me and my friends, we went to stay at a guest house the night before Armageddon so that we could make sure to get there early. My fear was that this event was gonna be like Klexicon, which is like lines that are 3 hours long. Even though I had bought a VIP pass for this convention, but I still didn't know what to expect. And I thought, you know, with Katie McGrath coming to New Zealand for the first time, I thought it would for sure draw in a massive crowd. And it did. I mean, it did. She did bring in extra guests, as did the others, for sure. But yeah, no, it wasn't like Klexicon. It wasn't. So we got there at like 9 AM, rushing, you know, to get our tokens for photographs and autographs. And it was unnecessary. It was not Klexicon. This was easy peasy. This was a breeze in terms of like waiting in lines and all that. I feel like everybody got an opportunity to get exactly what they want instead of rushing and all of that. So that was good. That was really good. So the first time I was supposed to see or meet Katie McGrath, it was gonna be in the photo booth area. We were supposed to take photos. And I was really nervous. I was really nervous coming up, the entire time coming up to this trip, but like getting there I was nervous, and then as I took a turn and stepped into the booth and I saw her, and I cannot explain to you what that felt like. Cause like you see somebody on TV and you see them on like photos and stuff like that, and you think, oh my gosh, this person's so beautiful, so good looking, and then you see them in person and my jaw, well, it didn't happen like externally, but internally I was like, holy fuck, she's so beautiful, she's really really pretty, like just in real life, just gorgeous girl. She's just sweet and really nice. I got into the booth and I was like, hello. Kill me. I just kind of said hi. I was super shy and I hate myself for it. I just wanted to be normal, you know, because she's just a person. She's just a person. But I, you know, when you get starstruck, I couldn't really function. Anyways, so got inside the booth and I said hello. And I tried to explain that I had this idea. I wanted to take 3 photographs, 2 on the first day and on that day, and another one the following day, and I wanted to do them like how they do in a photo booth, you know, like those vertical little photo booth photos that come out, and like you do a different pose each time. So I thought we could do like a normal smiley one, and then one silly one, and then another one the following day. And she was like, okay, yeah, we can do that. We can do whatever you like. And so we took one, the first photo, and this is the first photo which I'm gonna show you. Hopefully the light doesn't like fuck it up. So this is the photo. Yeah, that was good. And then the second one I don't want to show because I really don't like myself in that second photo. But she looks really funny. I asked her to put these glasses on, because I knew that people would really appreciate seeing her with the Thug Life glasses on. Because I've seen pictures of her with these like photoshopped on, and I've seen her in crack videos with those on, so I just really, it was like a dream of mine to see her put them on in real life. So I asked her, would you mind to put these on? And she was like, yeah, of course. And then she put them on, and then we took a photo and I went out. And I was like floating a little bit. Anyway, so that was the first experience. And then following that, there was the panel. And during the panel, I was really fortunate enough, I got to ask 3 questions. So my first one, I really wanted, I just kind of wanted to have like a conversation with Lena herself. And the way I started wording the question didn't come out very right, because the guy that was like managing the panel and Katie, I think I started to kind of worry them a little bit with where I was going with the question, but it wasn't meant to be a big thing. It was actually more a tongue-in-cheek intention that I had. I wanted to have a conversation with Lena, and I wanted to put her on the spot a little bit and be like, hey, so we know that Kara is Supergirl. What do you say to that? And I thought she might answer in like a silly way, like, you know, just have fun with it. I fully didn't expect her to give an actual answer of like how Lena would actually answer on the show, or how she would behave on the show if she ever found out. But that kind of backfired a little bit, because I worded it poorly, I think, and I said, oh, this might be a difficult question, and everybody's like, she gonna ask about Supercorp, she gonna ask about San Diego Comic-Con, oh my god. But yeah, I would never, I wouldn't ask her that. Like, I would not do that, because I know she would feel uncomfortable, and I just wouldn't do that. Anyway, so that was the first question. My second question was kiss, marry, kill Lena, Morgana, Lucy, and she gave the best answer. The best answer. Like, I could cry. It's just so good. We found out so much information from that, and I'm not gonna say what that information is, but if you're curious as to what that says about Katie, and this is obviously a joke, but if you're interested to see what that might potentially say about Katie, just go on Tumblr. Go on Tumblr and try and find those gifs of her answering that question, and then read the comments of what people are saying. Oh my god. But yeah, she basically said she would marry Lena because, well, she's a good person, she's kind, she's caring, she would look after you, and she's got a lot of money, so you wouldn't ever have to work again. Which, yeah, Lena is a daddy. Lena is such a daddy. We already knew that. The second one was she would kiss Lucy, which made me very happy because Lucy's my baby. She would kiss Lucy because her words, she's a hottie, very well dressed. I couldn't agree more. I would kiss Lucy too. I would probably marry her, but maybe not after she turns into a vampire because she might eat me. And then she would kill Morgana because she's got too much power and would end up being the alpha. Maybe. Interpret that as you will. I have no comments on that one. And then my third question was, and this was, I was asking this on behalf of a friend from Twitter. A lovely person called Evan. He wanted to know what would it take for Lena to forgive Kara for not telling her the truth that she's Supergirl. And basically the answer is not much. There's not much. She probably just wouldn't forgive her. So let's hope it doesn't come to that, or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, those were her answers to my questions on the first panel. And then after that, went to get an autograph with Katie, and I felt a little bit bad. I thought maybe my questions were a bit difficult, so I said, I'm so sorry. I hope my questions were not tough. And she said they weren't tough, it's just that she may not answer the way we would expect it to. And I said, that's fine with me, totally fine. Like, however she wants to answer is okay with me. Like, I have no expectations. It was all in the name of fun, really. So yeah, but she seemed okay with it. And I also gave her the gifts that I wanted to give her, the book and the chocolates. And she was very appreciative. She was very appreciative of the chocolates when she found out they had wine in them. And then I suggested that, you know, she'll probably get drunk eating them while reading her book. And she was extremely pleased about that. So I'm happy I got her those. But to be honest, she received so much candy that weekend. And I bet your ass she's going to receive a whole lot more in Christchurch. She's gonna need another suitcase just like dragging all of that candy back to wherever she lives at the moment. I don't know what she's gonna do with it. She's got so much chocolate, so much candy. I don't know what she's gonna do with it all. I sincerely doubt she's gonna be able to take all of it back. She's probably just gonna have to give some of it away, which is a shame, but I mean, you know, it's just one of those things. And we chatted just briefly. What did we chat about? Oh yeah, we talked a little bit about the book that I gave her, and it was Whale Rider, and she said she had heard about the movie. She even knew, she named Keisha by her name. She said Keisha Castle Hughes was in it, and I was like, oh my god. But apparently she hasn't actually seen the movie yet, so she was happy that she would get to read the book before seeing the movie. And she said she really liked reading books that were written by people who live in the places she'd be visiting at the time. So I was really happy I got her one of like New Zealand well-known books. And then she signed my fan art, which my amazing friend Giovanna drew. So this is it. This is what it looks like. She wrote Eden, All My Love, Katie McGrath, XX. Is that XX or Kiss Kiss? I don't know. But anyway, isn't this amazing? I love this shot so much, and she really liked it too. Like, she was like, "Oh, that's so cool. That's really amazingly done." She was saying things like that, and she remembered the exact shot from Merlin when this happened, and she was like, "Oh, the smirk," and she's like, yeah, she's known as Smirkana because she does that smirk a lot apparently, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so lame. Yeah, and that was basically it. And the bookmark that I gave her, she loved the bookmark so much. She was like turning it in her hands, and she was like, "Oh, that's so cool." Like, she really appreciated it, and I'm so glad that she did. And then she asked me to write my name. Not my name. She said, "Can you write on the tag?" Like, because I gave her the whole thing in a little carry bag, and there was a tag, but I didn't write anything on the tag. I just left it blank because I didn't want to bombard her with fangirling. She was like, "Can you write on the tag?" So I just wrote "From Eden," and I put a little heart, just so she would know who it's from. Hopefully she'd remember. And she said, "Thank you so much. This is really kind of you. Like, I really appreciate it. Like, just thanking me for the gifts." And I was like, "You're so welcome. It's, you know, I hope you like them. See you later." And yeah, that was basically that first sort of meeting. And then later on, we went to the cocktails party, and she was just kind of standing. She looked pretty tired, pretty jet-lagged, and I couldn't shake the feeling of that. Like, I was just really conscious that she'd probably be super tired. But she was, yeah, she was just, you know, trying to interact with everybody and chat with everybody, and we kind of stood around in a group, and, you know, people would come and go. And I don't know, I felt, how should I explain this? She has said many times that she is a shy, private person. And yet, like, when you see her during panels and when she's doing interviews, she's really bubbly and funny and witty and all of that. And so, like, when she would say stuff like that she's really, like, shy, actually, and things like that, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. And then when we were at the party, I saw what she meant. But it also could be because she was super tired. So that's another factor. But she was really sweet and really, she talked to everybody. But I could just feel it. I could feel it that it's possible she was quite overwhelmed or also jet-lagged. But, you know, she was in this brand new country surrounded by so many people who were, you know, really near. So I was just super conscious of, like, not getting too close. I was standing next to her for a good amount of time. But I was just really sort of conscious of that. And you could tell that it was important to her to make an effort to speak to everybody, you know, just sort of interact. But it didn't necessarily come as, some people are just relaxed in that kind of atmosphere, and it just, you know, the talking just happens and they're just in their element. That wasn't the impression that I got of her. It was more that she cared a lot to interact with everybody, so she put in the effort to chat with everybody. She was really, like, fun and nice and everything, but I could see where that sort of shyness kind of comes from, if that makes sense. And I was like, okay, so now I see it, and now I do believe it, that, you know, that's what she's like. And so that night we kind of just chatted about, we didn't, I mean, I think people didn't really, we chatted about just general stuff, like nothing much to do with work and such. I mean, at least not for Supergirl, because, yeah, it was supposed to be much more casual, and so you could just kind of hang out and stuff. And the first thing that I asked her is whether she's watching Killing Eve. Because I just have a feeling like she'd really, really like the show. And she said she has heard about it, and I think she is keen to watch it, but also waiting till the entire season is out, because she said it's difficult with her schedule to follow the episodes week to week. so it's easier when they're all out, and then she can watch. And then we were trying to figure out whether we could hook her up to TVNZ on demand so she could stream it all now while she's here, but it wasn't gonna work, I don't think. So hopefully she'll get to see it soon, especially after that ending. Oh my god. And then we talked about books and the fact that she's currently reading Clan of the Cave Bear, and I said I actually read that one, and I told her she should see the movie, even though it's a bit dated, and you can tell that it's a bit dated, but it's actually a really good movie, and Daryl Hannah is just amazing in it. And she just kind of listened and stuff, and we talked about, she said Gone with the Wind. She loves the movie and the book, and she was saying how Scarlett O'Hara is a bitch, but like a really good bitch, and you just gotta love a good bitch. And she just kept using the word bitch, and I was just like, oh my god, Katie McGrath is right in front of me and she keeps saying bitch, and I was like, wow, I'm in heaven. It was just the best thing ever. It was something that I didn't realize I needed in my life. And then we talked about, you know, her traveling in New Zealand, and she made a joke. She was like, you know, does New Zealand really bank a lot on Lord of the Rings? And we're like, yeah, we do. I made a joke. I was like, pretty much half of New Zealand jobs are dependent on Lord of the Rings. Then we talked about, she asked like, what does everybody do, and I told her that that I'm writing a book at the moment, and that I'd quit my job earlier so that I could have more time to write my book. And she found that she like listened really carefully, and she found, I think she said I was really brave for doing that, and I don't know whether she meant I'm really brave as in that's a good thing to do, or I'm really brave because when I was like, you know, near around her and I would try to talk, I would get mind blanks a lot. And so I was wondering, maybe she meant like you're really brave because you're gonna suck, so, you know, good for you. I don't know. I think she was being really nice about it anyways. But yeah, then she asked what I'm writing about. I said historical fiction and, you know, Regency England and all of that stuff. We talked about that a little bit. And she said, you know, sometimes you just gotta go for it, and that she herself has had to do similar, you know, like you just gotta take that jump, I guess. And then we talked a little bit about Dracula. I said I was really sad that we didn't get to see Lucy Western Rhine Dracula kicking ass in season 2, and she was like, yeah, you know, she was sad that the show was cancelled. And she said how her and her co-star who plays Mina, they just had their own version of what could happen in season 2, that the two of them just like ditch everyone else and like run away to like Italy or something and just have a good time. And I was like, oh my gosh, I would watch that. I would watch that happily. So then I was even more gutted that the show got cancelled. I asked her, does she think that Lady Jane is like was dead for good? She said that the cast was being assured that she was like dead, and that the production team or whoever, they just kept saying like, no, she's like dead. And I was like, yeah, but you know, on TV everyone's dead until they're not. And she was like, yeah, but they said that she's like dead, like really dead. And then she was like, but then again, like what happened to me at Merlin, like she died pretty much in every season, and yet she kept coming back. So yeah, I don't know, maybe she'd come back. I mean, I'm saying that maybe she'd come back, that's not what she said, but. And she said that, you know, the show meant a lot to her, and that the cast grew very close because it was a very difficult shoot, and it took a lot of effort to get her character to where she needed to be. So she made some really good close friends, which is awesome. And so when the show was cancelled, I think they were all pretty gutted. But they still keep in touch, apparently, which is awesome as well. And then we talked about how many of her characters die. We talked about Zara from Jurassic World and how, like, her death was the iconic death of that movie, because the original Jurassic Park, it had so many iconic deaths. Like, she came up, she remembered the guy sitting on the toilet, he got eaten. And I remember the other dude, the dude in the car, he gets like destroyed by that one dinosaur with the flared whatever that was. And so I was saying, like, so in this movie that's you, like, you were the one with the iconic death. And then we kind of joked how, like, so many of her characters die and that she's basically the Sean Bean of TV. Like another version of Sean Bean. And then we talked a bit about her character, Elizabeth in Frontier, who gets her head bashed in and gets murdered brutally. And she was saying, like, that day was very hard. Like, it was a very difficult, long day, I think. And the actor who played opposite her, who was essentially murdering her, like, he kind of got upset as the shooting went on because he found it very difficult to be that violent towards a woman, and there was a lot of, like, hitting and shoving, not shoving, but, like, yanking, and it was quite physical, which is, yeah, poor guy. Poor guy, I mean, poor both of them, and it's so sad, like, what happened to her character. But, yeah, so that's pretty much, like, what we chatted about. I mean, we chatted about other things, and people, like, everybody chatted with her, but I just remember also feeling quite conscious that, you know, she was tired and jet-lagged, and so I mentioned to her on a couple of occasions, I said, hey, like, if you're tired, if you want to go, just say, like, we can help you sneak out. It's, you know, you don't have to stay if you're feeling really tired. And the first time she said, oh yeah, maybe I should go, but then she ended up staying for another, like, 15 minutes, and we just kept chatting. And then the second time, when I suggested that, she was like, okay, I probably should go. But she was really nice and offered to take selfies with the people who were around. Like, we weren't supposed to do that, but she offered, so we did, and that was really cool. I remember an awesome girl called Tamari asking her if she would be interested to come to Klexicon, and Katie said that she had heard Kyla talk highly of it and that the atmosphere is really good. But she said it really depends on whether she would be able to get the weekend off from work, from shooting, from Supergirl, whether they would, the production team would release her. And then Tamari said, like, just come for one day, you know, you can just fly in for one day. And she said, again, it depends on whether they will allow her. So, fingers crossed, maybe if we message the Supergirl staff and beg them to let her go, maybe it'll happen. I think it would be very cool to have her there. I also really would love to see a Dracula panel. So if we could get Katie and also her co-star from Dracula, Jessica, I don't know how to say her last name, I feel so bad. Her co-star Jessica, who plays Mina, and Dracula, if they could come together and they could do a panel, I really want that. I know people nowadays, they're more focused on Supergirl, but that would be so cool. So maybe we can get them both to come, maybe. Otherwise her and Kyler, and then we could try and convince them to make Agent Corp happen. But yeah, like, we should, like, tweet Supergirl staff and production team and be like, please, please, please let Katie go just for one weekend. We need that to live. And there was also a guy who was working as a photographer that night, and he kind of took a group photo of me and Katie and a few other people, my friend Sam and a couple of other people over there. And I didn't know how closely to her I was allowed to stand, if I was allowed to, like, put my hand around her shoulder. I really didn't know, because it's one thing, like, when you're in the photo booth and you're there to take a photo, but it's another thing when you're at a party, and, you know, I just didn't want to, like, cross any lines or anything. So I just kind of stood there, but then she put her hand like around my back, and so I was like, okay, I can probably do the same, so I did that. And then I just saw the photo now, and I'm the only one she hugged. I mean, it's, you know, it's nothing to be like super happy about, but I'm happy about it. And like she put her hand around like on my shoulder, on my back, and like she like just kind of like lightly, you know, it was nothing big, like she just kind of like rubbed my back, and I was just like dying inside. I was like just dying, and I was like, just keep it together, keep it fucking together, like stop being a loser. Oh my god, I really hope she never sees this. Never ever sees this video. This is really embarrassing. But yeah, and then afterwards, yeah, she just kind of left. And then the next day, I also had another photo with her and panel and another autograph. And when I went into the photo booth first, like she was like, oh, hello Eden. And I was like, what? She knows my name? I mean, she literally remembered everyone's names. That girl has really good memory. Like, I don't know how she remembers everything that she does. It must be like, you know, practicing to remember all the scripts at the last minute. So like, she must really have like excellent short-term memory. But I was like, she knows my name? Oh, actually, one thing I forgot to say. She, when I walked in, she said, hi Eden, you look pretty. Very important piece of information. And I was like, thanks, so do you. And then I stood next to her, and she was like, oh yeah, we were gonna do the photo booth thing, the idea. And I was like, she remember that too? Like, does she take fish oil or something? Cause yeah, her memory is like really good. And I was like, yes. And I said, if it's okay with you, do you think we could do like a kiss on the cheek? And she was like, of course. And then she kissed me on the cheek. I mean, we took a photo and she kissed me on the cheek, and I just like, I wanted to say like, hey, I hope you know, you got some rest last night, I hope you're feeling better today. She did look a lot brighter and chirpier on the second day, but like there was a kiss on my cheek, and I just ran out of that booth. Like a loser. Ran out of that booth because yeah, I just really hope she never ever sees this video, because this is really embarrassing. Anyways, yeah, so I came out and then went to the panel, and the panel was really good. It was a DC Ladies of DC panel, and during that panel I got to ask another question, and this question was to do with the stick poke when Alex pokes her with a stick. And everybody was like wondering, was it improvised, was it not improvised? So I asked her, was it improvised? And she said no, actually it was in the script, but they were just really tired and giggly that day that it just came out as if it was improvised, and that secretly they're geniuses. And I was like, well, good job. And then I was gonna ask, like, so are like Lena and Alex going to have more of a and then she goes, a love affair? And again, like on the inside I just like lost it, but I was just trying to keep it cool and calm, and I was like, and I said, that's not what I was going to say, but sure, like, as in, I wouldn't mind if that were to happen. I'm actually all for it. And then she basically said that she can't give anything away, and that we just have to watch to find out. And I was like, okay, should have, I mean, I kind of expected that. And then lastly, it was just before we had to leave the convention, it was time for my final autograph with her. During this autograph, I went up to the table, and I'd actually been thinking to get a Supercorp picture signed, but I didn't print out any because I kind of just assumed that, you know, obviously it's her current show, so they would have quite a few pictures on the table available for fans to pick up and get her to sign. But when I got there, there were like no pictures of Lena and Cara. There were like pictures of Morgana, of Lucy, of Lena by herself. There were 3 pictures, 3 photographs of her with James. And there was one really random picture of Lena and Cara and Alex in that dream forest, whatever that was. But it was a very random picture, like it was, like, it's not an important moment or anything. So when I got there and I looked and I was like, okay, there are no pictures, and I said, like, I actually really wanted to get a Supergirl picture, but there are none. And yeah, so I just want to warn everybody who might be going to the Armageddon in Christchurch. I don't know if there will be any pictures of Lena and Cara or Lena and Supergirl, so if you want that, try and print your own. I'm trying to, like, I sent my friend who is going to Christchurch, I sent her like $50 and some screenshots that I thought were a good resolution. Turns out they're a bit pixelated, so I don't know how that's going to turn out. But like, she and I kind of worked together to print them so that we can donate them to fans, maybe leave them at her table if we're allowed to do that or something like that. Just because I think it's really sad not to have Lena with the lead of the TV show, you know? Like, they have a really profound friendship. They have an important working relationship as well, and people ship them like crazy as well. So I think it's pretty sad not to have any pictures of the 2 of them together. And yeah, I just felt like I would have printed some right there and then and donated them if I could, but we were stuck at the convention, so I had no way of doing that. So yeah, me and my friend Lou, we're just kind of trying to sort that out now, and hopefully we can donate some, not many at all, like it won't be many pictures, but we can just donate some to fans in Christchurch so that they can have some Supercore pictures for her to sign. Although hopefully maybe the management down there will sort it out by then, because yeah, it's not very cool not to have that. But anyway, so I went up there and I said I really wanted to get a picture of Lena and Cara, but I don't see any, and they kind of pointed at me towards that one random shot of her with Cara and Alex, and I was like, eh. So I didn't take that, but I said instead I have another picture that I printed out myself from Dracula, if you don't mind signing. And then I showed her the picture, and as I presented the picture to her, like, her face and her whole demeanor just changed. It's like she melted. She just looked at this picture like such sentimental sort of expression on her face. And I didn't expect that it would affect her like that. But that was really sweet to see, like, how much the character of Lucy means to her. She has said that she particularly loved that character, and it means a lot because that character is actually gay, like canon gay this time. And yeah, she had a very sad storyline, but she was such a beautiful character, and her friendship with Mina was just beautiful. And yeah, as she was looking at that picture, I told her, you know, Lucy and Mina's friendship means a lot to me because it actually reminds me a lot of my own friendship that I'd experienced when I was younger with my best friend. And so it's really sentimental to me. Like, when I see them, it's almost painful to watch them because it really does hit home for me. And I told her that, and she was like, oh, that's sweet, and like, what would you like me to write on the picture? And I said, just write something that Lucy would say. So she did, and I kind of saw what she wrote, but I wasn't really focused on that too much, so I just took the picture. And then I passed her these glasses. I just said, like, look, people are photoshopping Lena's face every time she saves the world, or saves Supergirl, or gives like a one-liner that's just badass. Like, people photoshop these thug life glasses on her because she is a boss queen. And when we took that picture yesterday, me and her together, and she was wearing these, like, people on Twitter just started sharing that picture a lot. And I said, I think you should have these, and if possible, please wear them on this set, like as Lena, because people will flip their shit if they actually saw Lena Luthor herself wearing these in real life. And she was very amused by that, and she was like, but how will I share it? Like, I don't have social media. And I said, maybe you can ask one of your co-stars to take a picture and share. And she was like, okay, I'll ask Jeremy. Okay, I'll do it, I promise. And she took the glasses, and we just kind of giggled about it. And then lastly, I said, speaking of social media, I know you don't have Twitter or anything, but I just feel like I need to tell you, people just really, really love you. Like, there is just so much love and positivity and support circulating around social media for you. It's really mind-blowing. And so me and a lot of other people collaborated, and I kind of made this like poll with certain themes that are circulating around Twitter, just, you know, as a token of appreciation for her, to actually see just how much people love her and appreciate her. And then I showed her this poll, and I intended for her to keep the paper, but she didn't. She gave it back to me afterwards. But like, this is the poll that I showed her, and she took it in her hands and she was reading it, and as she was reading it, I could see again her face change, and like her chin wobbled, and it looked like she was getting a bit emotional, like she was about to cry. And then I started to get a bit emotional, and then like she just kind of got up and like went to hug me, and I was like, oh my god, what's happening? Anyway, she hugged me and she was like, thank you so much, thank you so much, that means so much to me, that's amazing, and please say thank you to everybody who was involved with this, just, it really means a lot. And then she took a marker pen and she wrote this. She wrote this. And then she read it out to me, so that, because she said, just so you can understand my writing, I said, this means so fucking much to me, you'll never know, XX. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. And she seemed genuinely touched. I think maybe what it says here, it says, Katie, we would like you to know we respect you so much. Our Irish queen is flawless. You're Ravenclaw material. Thank you for being our ally. And thank you for being our ally got the most votes. I think that's the thing that kind of hit home for her, maybe. I think all of it did, but like, I think the last one probably did the most. But she also commented like that her brother would appreciate the Ravenclaw part. And then I was like, oh yeah, family of nerds. Fair enough. And then she just gave me another hug, and she was like, thank you so much, thank you, it really means so much to me. Like, she gave me it like a good squeeze, and I was like, oh my god. And I was like, you're so welcome, honestly, there's just so much love for you, and I really hope you have a wonderful rest of your trip, and thank you so much for coming to New Zealand. And she was all smiley, and I was all smiley, and then we said bye, and I walked away, and it was such a good feeling. Like, we ended on a really high, good note, and I was just so pleased with everything, and it was just more than I ever could have dreamed or expected, honestly. I never ever thought that I'd get to have this sort of experience with one of my favorite people. So yeah, I was just really, really super happy. And so I walked off, and then I think she went off to do an interview. And in the interview, she mentioned me, and I saw that later, and I just, oh my god, I pretty much cried.
Can I do this for Twitter or Instagram? I was given these today, and apparently this is a big deal. I was told, I'm smirking underneath it. I feel really silly. But a very nice girl called Eden gave me these and said it was a big deal that I wear them, so hi.
Like, she's such a gem. She put the glasses on, and she said, a very nice girl called Eden, and I was really touched by that. But yes, but afterwards, oh god, afterwards, when I walked away and I looked at the art that she signed for me, and I'll show you the art now. Not art, picture, screenshot from an episode of Dracula. What she wrote was this. She wrote, my Mina. And I just took that picture in my hands and I looked at it and I read what she wrote, and it was just the most surreal moment, because I could hear her voice as Lucy saying that to Mina. like in this moment. I could hear that. But also at the same time, I could feel myself saying that to my best friend. And it like, oh my gosh. It just came out of nowhere, and it just hit home. I don't know, I got really, really emotional, and I kind of started crying, and it doesn't take a lot for me to cry, but this was really unexpected, I think, because, like, I do miss my best friend. So it was just, yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, my best friend's name is Mina. So when I read that, I was like, it like hit me in the heart. It destroyed me pretty much, and I just started to cry, and I just kept crying and crying, and I wanted to stop, but I just couldn't, and it just kept going on and on. And yeah, it was very embarrassing. Thank God she wasn't there. She left. Thank God. So she didn't see me, because I was like, just stop, and I couldn't. And then after a while I did stop, and then I kind of fixed my makeup a little bit. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I need to tell her. I need to tell her my best friend's name is Mina. Like, that's what we called her. And so I went to her table, but she wasn't there, and me and my friends, we had to actually rush off. We were in a rush to get back home. So I couldn't wait for her, because she was going to come back in 10 minutes, but I couldn't wait for her. We had to go. So instead, I wrote her a note, and the lovely assistant who was sitting at her table said she would pass it on, and she seemed really, really nice and like understood why it was important. I think she saw me crying. But basically in the note I said, thank you so much for being so kind. My best friend's name is actually Mina. So reading your words, like, it hit me like a ton of bricks, and it felt like I was staring at my younger self in the mirror. I think that's what I wrote, and I put a little heart. And I know, I'm sure she got the note, but I have no idea what she thought of that, and now I don't know whether I should have written that or not. It is what it is. I was really emotional at the time, but it really did mean a lot to me, and Mina and Lucy's friendship does mean a lot to me. Honestly, like, when I do watch them on screen, it hurts. It hurts a lot. But they're just so beautiful. Like, I love both characters so much. And I really wish I could somehow find out, like, if Katie got my note, like, just how she reacted to it, I suppose. But maybe, I guess I'll never know. But it doesn't matter, because everything else was just beyond amazing, and I have no words. I have no words. I'm just so grateful for this experience. I'm grateful that she would come all the way to freaking tiny New Zealand, because nobody big ever does, really, or they say they will and they cancel, but she made it, and that means a lot. And I really hope that the people who meet her in Christchurch this weekend, that they're going to have an amazing time with her, and bring her warm gifts. I think she's really cold in New Zealand. Get her gloves and scarves and hats and earmuffs. Please get her some earmuffs, something. Get her warm things. I am seeing pictures of her and she looks bloody cold. And with that, I'm gonna stop and just say, yeah, this was like one of the best experiences of my life, and my heart is so full, and I love her so much. I love her even more than I did before. She's wonderful. She's a gem of a human being, and she deserves the world. And yeah, that's it.